We want to get straight to breaking news coming down in just the last 5 minutes. The U.S. reportedly striking Iran directly. We want to go straight to NewsNation's Libby Dean, live at the White House. Libby, what are we learning?
President Trump announced this on social media moments ago, Natasha, saying that the U.S. has joined Israel on its fight against Iran, striking nuclear facilities, 3 nuclear sites within Iran. I want to read the statement in full for our viewers from the president. He says, "We have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordow. All planes are safely on their way home. We were tracking this throughout the day, Natasha, those B-2 bombers that were headed there, and he is now saying they have attacked Fordow." This post goes on to read, "Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter." Throughout the day, we were tracking if the president would get involved. He set, of course, this 2-week deadline of if they were or were not going to get involved, the U.S., of course. And now we're seeing he made this decision ultimately within 3 days for the U.S. to get involved in this conflict with Iran. Now, of course, we watch to see how Iran responds to this, how they will retaliate. A lot of questions remaining in the air right now. If the president was in communication with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ahead of these strikes. And right before I came on to speak with you and we were monitoring this situation, Natasha, I saw Secretary of State Marco Rubio outside of the West Wing working the phones. And then moments right after I saw him hang up the phone, President Trump posted this on social media, and we know that he's still in the Oval Office meeting with his national security team. But this is a defining moment for President Trump and his presidency as he now announces that the U.S. has joined Israel in its fight against Iran, Natasha.
Yeah, and we are continuing to cover this breaking news. Is these 3 nuclear sites in Iran that were the target of these attacks? Does it seem from preliminary information that Fordow, though, was the primary target here? President Trump describing a full payload of bombs. What are we learning about that?
Yeah, you saw that, Natasha, in the end of that post there, specifically talking about Fordow and how a full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordow. And throughout the week, this was something we were tracking. Fordow, this site that President Trump acknowledged the Israeli arsenal did not have the strength to go all the way underground and fully destabilize this site in Fordow. And moving forward, of course, this was something that the U.S. was very adamant on, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And Fordow was, of course, a primary site of them building this nuclear weapon in Iran. We're, of course, going to continue and watch what the developments are out of Iran tonight as we monitor the president still in the Oval Office with his national security team, likely going to be a late night here at the White House, Natasha.
Yeah, certainly. And it seems that that primary facility where Iran was conducting uranium enrichment, any confirmation so far on if those attacks were successful in actually penetrating deep enough into that entire tunnel system, that deep bunker where the uranium enrichment was taking place?
I've been monitoring the White House here, Natasha, and haven't been able to monitor what's going on the ground in Iran just yet. But of course, that was the goal of this strike by the U.S. on Fordow, was to destabilize and stop them from building any uranium enrichment there. So likely that's what the U.S. is hoping for. And you said you heard President Trump there say, congratulating the American warriors in this and saying now is the time for peace. So we'll see moving forward what it looks like on the ground outside of Fordow's nuclear development center there in Iran.
Libby Dean, I really appreciate that. And I know you'll continue to monitor the latest out of the White House. We'll check back with you.